So Jimmy Kimmel was doing it. He was doing it too.
Yeah, he was doing it too.
Yeah. No, he was being accused of joking about it too.
So they were upset at him, even though he was attacking the appropriate person. He was doing it in a manner which is also construed as being transphobic. Like they were saying that his tweet is transphobic.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, he used to host the Man Show. I mean, he's done some pretty outrageous shit back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, for hee-hees and haw-haws.
No, that's a good joke on top of a good joke.
Yeah, it's a good joke. Funny thing to say. He's had a real problem with Elon from the beginning of this thing, but it's like he's in this leftist thought bubble. He is in the most leftist thought bubble available, which is...
So, something pretty wild just happened on Joe Rogan's podcast, and people cannot stop talking about it. Rogan, known for being brutally honest and never holding back his thoughts, finally took direct aim at late-night host Jimmy Kimmel. And let me tell you, the way Rogan broke it all down was both shocking and eye-opening. This wasn't some casual joke or playful banter. This was a raw, unfiltered moment that left listeners stunned.
It's sort of self-censorship, and the idea of being a more empathetic person is a good thing, right? But as long as it's reasonable. But the thing is, the problem with that kind of stuff is it continues to go in the same direction where more and more things become forbidden and toxic, to the point where, you know, the Elon Musk joking around about my pronouns are prosecute Fauci. Jimmy Kimmel made a tweet back to him. He said, your pronouns are ass and hole.
Now, for years, Jimmy Kimmel has been a fixture on late-night television. He's been hosting Jimmy Kimmel Live for decades, and while he's had plenty of success, he's also built a reputation for stirring controversy. Whether it's political rants, emotional monologues, or mocking people he disagrees with, Kimmel often finds himself trending online. But what makes this moment different is that Joe Rogan, someone who has one of the biggest platforms in the world with his podcast, decided it was time to call Kimmel out in a way no one else has before.
Doing it too.
Yeah, he was doing it too.
Yeah. No, he was being accused of joking about it too.
So they were upset at him, even though he was attacking the appropriate person. He was doing it in a manner which is also construed as being transphobic. Like they were saying that his tweet is transphobic.
Do you think in that case, do you think that's him or a writer? Can't you tell?
Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah.
No, it's him for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
good. That's a good one.
He's a comic.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, he used to host the Man Show. I mean, he's done some pretty outrageous back in the day.
Yeah.
Rogan started by pointing out how Kimmel has shifted over the years. He reminded listeners that Jimmy wasn't always this politically charged figure. In fact, if you go back and watch clips from The Man Show, the show Kimmel co-hosted back in the late 1990s, you'll see a completely different version of him. The humor was edgy, risky, and even offensive by today's standards. But here's the kicker. Rogan highlighted how Kimmel now positions himself as a kind of moral authority, lecturing people about what's right and wrong. Rogan basically said, how can you go from being the guy doing those skits to now pretending you're the moral compass for America?
He's had a real problem with Elon from the beginning of this thing, but it's like he's in this leftist thought bubble. He is in the most leftist thought bubble available, which is Hollywood. And, you know, and I think also, you know, he famously, there's some videos of him in blackface, and those came out, and he had apologized for them, and I think he took that hit and, like, really doubled down the other direction. I mean, that's just speculation. But he, you know, now is a guy that goes after people like Elon.
That hit hard, because it's true. People who grew up watching Jimmy's earlier work can clearly see the drastic change. Rogan didn't stop there, though. He went deeper into how late-night television itself has changed. He explained that hosts like Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, and others don't feel like comedians anymore, they feel like political spokespeople. Instead of making fun of everyone equally, they've picked sides. And in Rogan's eyes, that's dangerous for comedy.
Put people on with uncomfortable opinions, and he's releasing people that were banned from Twitter because of things that they had said. He's like, as long as you haven't done anything illegal, I'll let you back on.
Oh, yeah.
So he's doing a lot of that. So it's a lot of people are upset by that, because then they think, you know, well, you're platforming bigots and hateful people, and it's a weird conversation.
At one point, Rogan made a really bold statement. He said late-night comedy is basically dead because of how hosts have aligned themselves with one side of the political spectrum. He argued that real comedy should push boundaries, question everything, and make fun of everyone equally. But in his view, Kimmel has abandoned that role to become more of a mouthpiece for certain political and cultural agendas. That's where Rogan really exposed the double standard.
Are you chilled? Are you in fear for the future of comedy and free speech?
Well, Will, first of all, I woke up this morning to the incredible shock that apparently TV shows are not guaranteed in our Constitution. I mean...
Rogan also touched on how audiences are responding. He pointed out that ratings for late-night shows have been steadily dropping, while independent podcasts and YouTube shows are skyrocketing in popularity. Why? Because people are tired of being lectured to. They want authentic conversations, real humor, and unfiltered opinions, not scripted talking points designed to score political claps. And that's exactly what Rogan offers on his own platform, which is why his podcast has become the biggest in the world.
Second, I'm still waiting for the left, the liberals, to get outraged about Roseanne getting fired for her free speech. And then I'm also waiting, I've been waiting a long time for the left and the Democrats, especially the Democrats on Capitol Hill, for the Twitter files that released that the Biden-Harris administration was actually using the government to pressure Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and especially Twitter to actually censor actual Americans through the government.
Another huge part of this exposure moment came when Rogan discussed the influence of corporations and networks on shows like Jimmy Kimmel Live. He explained how these networks rely heavily on advertisers, and that can control what hosts are allowed to say. Rogan hinted that Kimmel might not even believe half the things he says, but he has to play along because it keeps the network and sponsors happy. That really struck a chord with listeners, because it raises the question, is Jimmy Kimmel being genuine, or is he just reading from a script written by corporate interests?
It's really important because what happens is you have to make money, or you have to do something of value so that you can get something in return. Now, the interesting thing is, it's false advertising, because honestly, look, Jimmy Kimmel can be funny, and I don't mean to take anything away from that, but the fact of the matter, can you remember a political joke that went viral, what was something really funny of his? There was no attempt in humor at all in what he said, and as a matter of fact, it was a lie. Now, as you pointed to, Will, since the 1960s, you have to get a license to broadcast. This isn't Netflix, this isn't cable, this is broadcast.
The most powerful part of Rogan's breakdown was when he tied it all back to authenticity. He said the reason people trust his podcast is because he's not beholden to big corporations or advertisers in the same way. He can sit down with anyone, have a 3-hour conversation, and speak freely without worrying about being cancelled. That freedom, according to Rogan, is what makes his show resonate so deeply with millions of people around the world.